Welcome to Parental Composure, episode 11. I'm here with Keith today, Keith Sawarynski.
Oh, that's really good.
Thank you.
That's twice.
I practiced like 3 times. Mike is out right now because he is going to have a baby tonight.
His 47th baby. 47.
Yeah, just about. So
I feel like that's an excessive amount of kids.
That would be excessive. I don't think I could handle 47, that's for sure.
You're probably
But
on a farm, though.
this is 6th, so pretty close to 47. So definitely good luck to you guys tonight.
Good luck.
Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that we need you to go to our channel and subscribe, ring that bell to get notified. And you have the option to be notified for the occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. And also, we are going to Family Fest this weekend. Yay! And Family Festival, it takes place at National Western Complex, Saturday, February 22nd, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Take selfies with Clifford. Free kids activities. Free, people. That's important. Vendors, prizes, and stage presentations. Kids are free once again. Adults are $10, but get tickets for $5 by purchasing online. Use the promo code OCN half at checkout. Go to eventbrite.com now and search Family Fest and get your tickets today. Act now the day of the event. Adult tickets are $15. Family Fest fun for the entire family.
Awesome.
All right. So thank you so much for being here
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Yeah. So Keith is a fellow parent,
I am,
right?
yes.
And you have...
I have 2 kids.
All
I have
right.
a daughter, Colette, and a son, Jonathan.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So ages.
So Colette is, how do you do that? She's 2.5. She's almost 3.
Okay.
And then John is months, so 15 months.
Oh,
my wife
man.
would be upset with me for not knowing.
And you're on video right
I'm
now.
going to go with 15 months.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, you knew 15 months. I mean, I would say that you did a good job remembering that. I think that you are like right in the mix of like all the fun stuff, really.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, it's a blast, but it's insane. And my wife and I, we don't sleep, which obviously you are aware of.
Yes.
Last night, I think Colette was up 3 times for some random
man.
thing. The good news is that she is no longer in a crib. So when I go into her room, because she has a bed, I can at least lay back down and try and get her
Yes.
to go back to sleep, as opposed to before where you had to stand there and try and soothe her. That's annoying.
Was that like one of your motivations for getting her in a bed?
That was one of them. Yeah. And I don't think we really thought through the idea that now she can get up and she can open the door and then she can come into our room, because that has also started to happen.
Yes, I remember that.
And so I feel like I was warned about those things, but I pretended that, in my experience, it wasn't going to happen, but it's happening.
Oh, yeah. So is she just, it's probably because she's now in a bed that she's getting up more because she's getting used to it.
Yeah, I would imagine that she was getting up before, but because she couldn't get out of the crib,
Yes.
she really wasn't doing
It was her
anything.
jail
But
cell.
now it's kind of, I can get down and I can walk around. And,
Man.
yeah.
So what about your 15-month-old?
So he's just about to the point where he's walking by himself. So he does the wall kind of shuffle and the couch shuffle. He'll grab trucks and run around the house like it's no one's business.
Oh, yeah.
But my daughter never crawled. She always just sat. Mm-hmm. And then
Really?
my wife and I guess my wife never crawled either.
Funny.
But we would end up standing or sitting, maybe 2 or 3 feet apart, right, and doing the little 2-step. And then one day she just stood up and she just started walking.
Oh, wow.
My son, on the other hand, has no interest. So my wife and I will sit on the floor and we'll set him up, and then he'll just kneel down, like pick him back up, hold him there, trying to get his feet settled, and then he'll sit down. And he has no interest, because if he just sits there, then you'll go get whatever he wants.
Oh, he likes being served. He likes the luxury of...
Yeah.
So that's funny. And you know what? That's going to happen, too, with potty training, because boys will not potty train.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Colette's going through it now, and she's doing a pretty good job. Her motivation is Kit Kats. I don't feel like her motivation is actually trying to learn how to use the toilet, but her motivation is to get a Kit Kat, and so she's all about it. Yeah.
That's a smart.
The other thing that I notice is the way that I talk to the two of them. Like, so she's, I'm her dad, right? But she's super smart. Right? She's probably the smartest kid on earth, whatever. She's intelligent, so I will have conversations with her, like she's an adult, and I'll ask her questions, like, so why do you think that is, blah, blah, blah. My son, he will look at me and he makes noises. He can point at things and you can kind of pick out what he's trying to say because it's your kid, right? Yeah. So he'll make noises, and then I ask him, like, why he can't talk. What do you like
He's 15 months old.
Yeah, the kid needs to get a job. He needs to start freaking contributing to our household. He's been freeloading for over an entire year. I've almost I'm at my wit's end.
Oh, that kid's in for it.
If he's looking for, so I signed the 10-year lease with him. Like, I didn't do the full on, I did the 18 one with Colette, but I feel like the salesperson maybe sold me a bill of goods.
Okay.
I wasn't going to get sold that the second time, so I only did the 10-year lease.
Yeah.
And if that kid wants me to re-up it, like once it happens, he's got to
earn it.
He better get himself moving because this is pretty much
he is a boy, so it's only going to get worse. I mean, that lease may go down a few years as well.
Well,
as he gets older.
early payoffs are kind of annoying, so I might just sort of like stick it out. But
that's a good thing.
The 11th year is not guaranteed, right? You must, you better be having a backup plan.
Jonathan, if you're listening to this 5 years down the road, you better start working on it. Oh, man. Well, today we are in for a treat because we all know what it's like to deal with kid fails, right? I mean, like, come on. All the parents out there know that their kids are constantly doing funny crap. And sometimes it's funny. Well, I guess it depends on whether you're a mom or a dad, right? Because the moms normally are a little more concerned about the issue. Would you agree when the dads kind of just want to chuckle?
Yeah, so I don't know what you're going to show me, and I'm probably going to laugh. And when my wife watches this later, I'm not quite sure how she's going to react. But I will tell you that my son, he's got a giant dump truck. Right, so he uses the dump truck as his walker. It's like if I could put tennis balls on the bottom of it and dress him like an old man, I totally would. But
Halloween costume idea.
Yeah, so he like tears around the house with this dump truck, right? So he was holding the front, like the cab part, right? And so the dump truck is actually far away from him, and he's like hauling around, and then he looks at me and he smiles. And so I'm kind of like standing there watching him, and then he just takes off down the hallway. Well, we have a bathroom in the hallway, so there's a break in the wall, right? And he's just heading straight for that break. And he goes right into the opening, smashes into the wall, and goes head first over, like a kid going over the handlebars of their bike. So he goes head first into the dump truck, and his little feet are like kicking up and down, and I fell on the floor laughing. Like,
so that's the first thing you did.
Oh my
you
goodness!
Didn't run up.
It's like what you do with your friends, right? When your friends try and do something dumb, right? And as a guy, right, your friends, you always do stuff dumb, and then when you realize that they're okay, then it's funny. So like, there's the moment of ooh, and then I realized he was okay because he was kicking his feet around. And I just fell on the floor laughing. We literally fell on the floor laughing. And my wife comes running around the corner. What are you doing? I'm like, look at him. He can't get out of the dump truck.
That is good. Did she go over there and help him out?
She went and picked him up and told him that he was okay and that he needed to make sure that he was more careful. I'm like, no, just run into the wall again. I wish I had
Please, let us be entertained.
Yeah, again, my wife's probably going to give me a hard time.
Well, that's so relatable, though, because it is, it is entertaining. Like, most of the time, we're taking out our cameras or our phones to snap a shot, even if they are stuck with their little feet up in the air. So, as long as they're okay, though. But that is the difference. Your wife was the one that actually ran over and helped him while you were sitting there being entertained. That's okay, though. As long as he was good, though,
he's
right?
Okay.
He wasn't hurt.
He's fine.
That's awesome. So I guess this is what we're going to start with today is a few video clips similar to that that we could probably relate to, I'm sure.
Okay.
Let's see. The first one is the punch. So I don't know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Let's see where this goes.
Oh, this is going to be fantastic.
Okay. Oh! Okay, see, I know you guys saw it. Like, how many people out there can relate to that? Can you relate to that? Has that happened yet?
Oh, absolutely that is. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? Because you're there and you're playing and you just,
so
you're vulnerable, right? Because your kids are climbing all over you and doing whatever they're doing, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere. I mean, I've gotten jacked with a golf club before,
What?
Not like a real golf club, like one of the plastic ones, right? Because she's swinging around and wham, like, oh, like that is or awesome. Actually, the thing that happens more often. So when I pick her up, she's tall enough, right? Oh, she's like 3 foot tall. I don't know how tall she is. She's a kid.
Yeah,
right?
she's a kid. She's 2.5.
Okay, so you pick her up, but she doesn't do like the natural. She has never been the kid where like she wraps her legs around you and sits on your hip.
Yeah.
It's like my wife has always complained that like you have to hold Colette like she's dead weight because she just keeps
to wrap around?
She just keeps her legs straight down, right? So she comes running over to me to give me a hug, right? And these are things that happen once, and then you never do this again, right? Mm-hmm. She comes hauling over and then like gives me a big hug, and then I pick her up, and then her feet go like.
Oh my gosh! And she's like tall enough to where it's
right in the mommy daddy button. Like it is. It does not.
What did you just call that?
Right in the mommy daddy button. You ever seen Austin Powers?
I have, but I don't remember that saying. That is awesome. I'm gonna have to.
Right in the mommy daddy button. Something like that.
See, I can't relate to that, obviously, but I mean, I can laugh at that because I have no idea what that feels like.
It's not pleasant.
I'm sure it isn't. I've seen my husband buckle down to his knees before from something like that happening.
Yes, that has happened. Like in the kitchen, down on my knees. My wife is sort of trying not to laugh, but if one of my buddies was over, you'd be laughing. Like that's something to laugh at. Like you just got jacked. Like that's funny.
It's like that. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I know that hurts, but I have no idea what that feels like. Thankfully. I mean, I have birthed children, so
yeah, you've got that.
I do have that. Have you ever seen those things where they like wrap around you to like, what is that? To make it seem like you're giving birth?
I've seen them.
Or to make it seem like you've gotten kicked in the balls. Can I say that? Kicked in the balls?
Probably.
It's hilarious. So women can get wrapped up in this thing and they get to feel what it feels like to get kicked there.
Yeah.
And guys can actually do it to see what it feels like to give birth.
Who would sign up for that?
I don't know, but it would be really entertaining.
I would watch somebody else do it.
There are YouTube videos on it. We'll have to do that at some point. We can do that
some other time.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so one of the things that the kids will do, I remember, well, not now because they're bigger. My kids are bigger, but is like running up to my husband when he got home from work or something, and it's like right there. Like they're like, give him a hug, and he right in the groin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that would happen all the time.
Yep. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Not hug your kids?
I know.
So you kind of have to take one for the team, right? You just
and they're just trying to love you.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
Or I've done the bye hug, right? She runs away, and then she's like, "Daddy," and then she runs back over. So how are you not going to give her a second hug, right? And then you just get jacked again.
And man. Yeah. No. I'm glad I'm not a guy. Definitely glad I'm not a guy. I don't ever have to deal with that. Thank you. So the second one is called "Ow, He Bit Me."
Ow, He Bit Me.
We'll see.
Okay.
Where this goes, but I could only imagine. I mean, kids and their teeth, and they don't know how strong their little mouths are.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh boy. All right.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep. Oh. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. There it is.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
You can see them latch on, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. But that's one of those things where they're doing something that's funny.
Yeah.
So they're playing with each other, and they're having fun, right? They're enjoying the time. So it starts off as, oh, you're giving your brother a kiss,
Yes.
right? Like, oh, you're patting your brother on the head, and then wham.
Oh wow.
You bit me.
Right.
So then he sinks his teeth in. Like, yeah, that happens all the time. I mean, I don't think they've bitten each other yet. I anticipate that they will. But just last night, they were playing with the train set,
Oh, yeah.
And so John's crawling around in the middle of the train set that my wife and Colette had built, right? My wife built, and Colette sort of like
Helped
picks
it,
pieces up and sets them back down. Well, John walks over and just knocks things over, right? Godzilla. So he just,
Of course he does.
and so my wife is setting them back up, and Colette is getting upset because John keeps breaking the train tracks. And so she has Thomas the Train in her hand, and they're like little metal, right? The ones that the wooden ones, right, where you can roll them, and so the wheels are metal. So she's kind of looking at it, and she's starting to get upset, and I can see her, right? And so she's like tapping the Thomas the Train on the couch, and then Veronica turns around, my wife turns around to grab things out of the box, and you just hear.
Oh.
She jacked him right in the head with the train. So you could sort of see the slow boiling.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of cute because she's a kid and she's sort of throwing a temper tantrum, but she's not really throwing a temper
She's
tantrum.
like trying to hold it together.
Yeah. So it just starts with she's shaking her hands, and then she's tapping the couch, and then finally she just had enough. Bam! Right? So like that's what happened right there.
Yes.
The kid, he's just loving on his brother, and then chomp. Right?
Oh, yeah, for
I'm missing
sure.
a piece of my forehead.
Oh my gosh. Seriously? You guys are lucky. You guys are like in the funnest stage because I don't.
Really?
I mean, I think so. Like when they get
that
older.
sort of feels like when your high school teachers say, "This is the best time of your life." It
I
certainly
remember
doesn't
feeling
feel
like
that way.
I do remember feeling that. But you guys are like, you get to be entertained every night, even though they do wake you up in the middle of the night constantly. That's hard, but it is pretty entertaining. Like these little
they're
moments.
pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
they're pretty entertaining,
and they're easy to love.
They're easy. I would say this because I come to work and then I go home. It's super easy. Like if I was in charge from 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m., I would go insane.
No, I am glad that you said that because that is I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years, so I know.
Insane. I would go insane.
Yeah.
I think I've actually told my wife I can tolerate my kids for like 2 hours at a time.
Yeah, it's.
And then I didn't feel bad when I said it because it's not like I'm mean. It's not like I would neglect them.
Right.
It's just I'm over you at this point in time.
So what happens with those parents that are there all day though? I mean,
don't
like
know.
you have to really hold it together. I mean, I remember going, I don't know about your wife, but sometimes I'd go in my closet and have to cry a little bit because I'd be like, "Oh my God."
I don't know what she does. I know that whatever she does during the day, some days the kids are good and some days the kids are not.
Yes.
Right? And so I know that when I come home, right, that the best thing that I can do is like rattle or wrangle both of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
spend a half an hour, 45 minutes with both of them.
Yes.
And sort of give my wife a break.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work depending on what time I get home. But that's usually my goal.
Yeah.
Right? So that she can at least take like 30 seconds away. Because the funny part is and it's real, and you, like, I think I always nostalgically remember that, there's like a gravitas that to my dad's voice versus my mom's.
Oh yeah.
But Colette will like openly fight with Veronica. She'll openly argue with her. Like, no, right? And she'll ask her to do something and she'll tell her no.
Yep.
She says no to me, and I what did you just say? And then she goes and she does whatever she wants to do.
See, guys are lucky, or whoever. I mean, there are stay-at-home dads, and the moms work. So whoever is with the child all day, though, they're the one that it's like, the kids will talk back or not listen, and then you guys get to get home, and they're like, oh, yes, yeah, I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah, so
it's not fair.
Yeah, so apparently yesterday they were supposed to have. She takes swimming lessons.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's learned to swim, and then this summer we'll be able to take her to the pool,
awesome.
and that'll be kind of fun. And then we'll start John doing the same thing. But they were supposed to have a swim lesson yesterday, and apparently my son was thrashing around, and he would not go into his seat.
Oh, in the car?
In
like
the car
on
seat.
Oh,
so my wife
yes.
apparently had it on the floor, and she was trying to get him in the seat, and he was just thrashing and rolling and kind of kicking around. And she tells me that she ultimately canceled the swim lesson because she couldn't get John in the seat. And I'm thinking, he's 15 months old. Just hold him down. But the difference is, right, there's stuff that I will do when they like thrash around when they don't want to get their diaper changed. Like, I will put my hand on your chest and you cannot move because you're this big, right?
Yeah.
But she won't. She's like, here, hold this and do this.
Right.
So like the way that she sort of does those things, she's much more. It's not that I'm not loving, but she's much more loving,
Like
to
gentle
them.
and patient.
And Colette will jump down a step or throw something on the floor, and I will immediately just boom, right, and then you can see her. Sorry, Daddy.
It's true. Oh, you guys, it's not fair. And plus, I'm sure your wife was dealing with him all day,
of
too.
course.
So it's like at the end of the day, you're trying to get him in his seat, and you're like at your wit's end. So I could totally relate to that.
Yeah. Well,
That's tough.
He had done it the day before, so I knew what she was talking about. But the day before, I picked him up. And then I carried him around and was talking to him and, showing him things and handing him, toys and things like that. And then giving him a book. And then I turned him so that I had him sitting, like his back against me. So he's sitting. And so I got him, to the point where he wasn't worried about keeping himself stretched. And then I just walked over and set him in the seat and clipped it. Right. And Veronica did that. That's exactly what she did. She was like, why can't I do that? It was going through her head. And I just said, you can. Right, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
He just needed a different voice, and he needed 10 seconds to compose himself.
Yeah.
Right? But when she's got both of them by herself, and she's under a time crunch to get him in the car and get him out there, right? She didn't have 4 extra minutes to walk him around the house, and so she ultimately just had to be like, yeah, okay, well, we didn't go.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you're already stressed. So, you're saying, he's with you, there's nobody else to turn to, and she, can't. I mean, I could put myself in that position. You can't relax. So you're even trying to walk him around, he's going to feel that you're get in your car seat.
Right.
So is he starting that whole thing where he's
Yeah, he tries. I mean, I think he's just trying to figure out how to use his body.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is something he can do. He can hold himself stiff as a board.
Which is a positive thing, but it's at the same time, it doesn't work out for us parents, It doesn't ever happen when we want it to.
Yeah, no.
That's good. All right, so our next one is the climbing kid.
Oh,
so
yes.
let's check
do
this out.
Oh, my goodness.
See how this goes.
The climbing kid. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Is he? Oh, he just says, whoa. Oh, my God. That is so relatable.
Awesome.
At least it wasn't he was flipping out of the crib onto the floor. I think that would have hurt a lot.
Yeah, that would have hurt.
I don't know. But, in that situation, I think even as a mom, I would laugh at that because he's fine.
But because he was going in.
Yeah, because he's going in.
Yeah.
If it was out, I would definitely not laugh.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd laugh at that?
No, I don't think I would laugh at that way. If he went, waist over like that, that's a pretty big fall from the top of those cribs.
Oh, that is,
right?
yes, that could be a serious fall.
3.5 foot, 4 foot fall, right? And he probably would have flipped another half time, right? That could have been bad.
Oh, that could have been really bad.
But because he was going in, so Colette would climb into her crib.
Yeah.
I'd let her climb into the crib, but we never let her climb out.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
See, my kids would climb out in the
She
middle of the night.
never did. She never did.
Oh, wow.
John might. He started to do I had to drop it all the way down to the bottom. I actually removed the spring and just put boards on it and dropped it all the way down. So it's basically on the floor. He's in jail. It's not even a crib anymore. He's not elevated at all. He's in jail.
Hey, that's smart because
He
you don't
deserved it.
know. I mean, your kids, every kid is different. So even though she didn't do it,
Yeah,
he
because
could.
he was starting to do the thing where he lifts his leg up.
Oh, yes.
So he can actually he can climb up on the little step stools, and then they have a thing that we call the tower, which they can climb up on and stand, and it sort of boxes them in so they can put dishes in the sink and things like that.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So he can climb up that. So I was pretty sure, because the way it was set, it was kind of right below his sternum.
Yeah.
So I was pretty sure that he was going to figure out how to get his foot up there, and then once that was in, then he was going to tumble out.
Yeah.
And so when I built the bed for Colette, I just dropped the mattress from the crib all the way down to the bottom. So I could imagine him doing it. She never did. But I've watched him climb up the outside of the couch. I've watched Colette climb up the outside of the stairs.
Oh, dang.
And I think what my wife doesn't know, which if she's listening, she's
she
now
knows.
going to know, is she's always like assumed that I don't do anything about it because I don't. But
Oh, gosh.
but when she like has, when she goes to rehearsal or whatever at night, like she has rehearsal all this week, so I'll have the kids all night, like 4 nights this week, and then all day on Saturday, which I'm super looking forward to. Does anybody want to come over and hang out?
Please, he's desperate.
So, I'll leave the gate open and let John like climb up the stairs, and then he can figure his own way down. Like at some point in time, I figure he's gonna tumble and like roll down the steps, and I'll kind of turn around and look at him and like, "What'd you do that for?"
Do you guys have like hard floor at the bottom of the
At the
stairs?
bottom, we do, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, man. You got to get like at least a carpet or something there before you let him do it. At least a padding or maybe a pillow.
Look.
Maybe like 5, 6.
If he rolled down two stairs, because we have like the up 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
Up, so it turns.
Okay.
Right? So it's not like he's coming down 14,
yes.
stairs, right?
Yes, that's better.
So at most he would tumble down, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Before he would sort of stop. And you know what? He learned to fall.
Learn to fall.
I mean,
Until your wife is coming home with your kid with stitches in his face.
come on. I mean,
No,
I've had stitches or broke my nose. Like you learn to fall, like be an athlete, right? So like roll it out. Just kind of like they teach you when you jump off that high tower in the playground that's like 20 feet tall. You don't just land. You land and you roll forward.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. My kids have learned to do that.
Yeah, so he's got to learn.
I know, but they're so little. You just want to like protect them. I remember my son at that age took his fire truck. It was like a fire truck too, actually. It was one of the ones that you sit on to the top of our stairs
Oh, yeah.
and literally went down 2 steps, and I like ran up and grabbed him. And I'm like, that would have been a disaster.
I probably would have done that too.
Yeah, because that's super
Yeah, there's a difference
dangerous.
between like me joking about the fact that he can roll down 3 stairs and then me realizing that he's trying to surf down a truck.
Yes.
Right.
That doesn't work out.
There are limits to my ridiculousness.
No,
They're very high,
I'm sure there are.
but they do exist.
So one time, this is my oldest son again. He's a monkey. All my kids are monkeys. He actually shimmied up one of the lamp poles.
Nice.
And it was like really high. I don't even know. Probably, I mean, you know how high those things are. He got stuck.
Yeah.
And was screaming
Right.
at the top of his lungs because they were playing in the front yard. Luckily, my husband was there because we're like, hold on, don't let go. And my husband had to shimmy up
Yeah.
to get him and then like drop him, and I caught him. But yeah, these kids are crazy. And then my middle son would always like wear this huge football helmet in the backyard, which I'm thankful for because he probably needed it with my older son. And I remember walking out one day, and they were like walking across our little jungle gym, like the swing set.
Okay.
And like my oldest son thought that it was okay to teach my 2-year-old son to walk across as well.
Look, I'm a little brother.
No.
That's what happens.
No.
That's how you learn to be great.
Oh my gosh. At 2 though?
Sure. Start early. Look,
I don't think so.
I've got 2 older brothers, and yeah.
So it's a boy. I mean, it's definitely a boy thing. My daughter never.
I think it's sort of like because they were older, it was there was a very low chance that I would say no because they're my brothers, right?
Yeah.
So it was sort of just like an experiment to see what they could get me to do.
Did you feel like you had to like prove yourself too?
Yeah.
Because they were doing it already.
Yeah, but what you don't realize when you're a kid, you don't realize it till you're an adult that you are never going to prove yourself. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean you don't try.
So are you still doing that with your older brothers?
No. Not anymore. No. I think if my brothers dared me to do something stupid, I would look at them like, what are we 10 again? I mean, maybe last year I would have done it, but this year I've completely grown up.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll have to ask your brothers at some point the truth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe you. I don't know. We'll see. The last one is the getting stuck.
Oh,
Getting
Yes.
stuck.
Yes.
I'm sure all of us have
yes.
witnessed this before. And my internet is not going to work for me right now.
Oh, that's good.
For some reason. Oh, there it
Oh, here
goes.
we go.
Okay.
Ingenious.
I mean, she's really trying hard. Like, she's concentrating.
She gonna make it through there? She did the hard part.
She did. I'm actually really impressed with this little girl.
There you
She's
go.
not screaming. She's...
Oh yeah, solved the problem. Now you're in
that's
timeout.
awesome.
Oh no.
Oh, man. Have your kids ever done something like that and, like, gotten their head stuck or...
So they've not yet gotten their head stuck like through the rail posts
Yeah.
yet. I would imagine that it's bound to happen. I remember it happening when I was a kid. I remember my brother getting his head stuck in the rails, which is quite funny. If I was older, I could have like used him as a punching bag, like speed bag.
Should have taken advantage.
Yeah. I mean, when they're pinned down and they can't do anything, you get like 5 free shots before you're gonna get whooped.
Oh, man.
Which really would have happened. We had boxing gloves in our basement, so
Really?
I would have been held accountable.
Dang, your parents were smart for doing that.
Oh, my dad used to say to us all the time, if we had a problem, just go downstairs.
Yep.
And so sometimes we would go downstairs. It was a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
getting punched in the face by your brothers with boxing gloves on is
Sounds like
awesome.
so much fun.
It's great. It's a very it's a bonding moment, and we had lots of bonding moments.
With boxing gloves.
Yeah, boxing gloves and other things. But yeah, so my kids have not done that yet. I would imagine that they can.
Yeah.
And our setup is similar to that, where they could come across on one side of the steps and kind of crawl back in. The way I would handle it, because she did actually make it through.
Yeah, she did.
Right, but so then when she was there, you actually heard me say it, like, "Oh, good, now you're in timeout," because that's what she can't work the gate.
Oh.
Right, so good. Now
yeah.
you can sit on the stairs.
Yep.
The problem is Colette would just walk upstairs and play in the loft. So I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, you got to think about, like, they're going up there for a reason, right? Like, I mean, they have a goal.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
these little ones have a goal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we may not know and understand what's going on in their head, but there's something going on in their head. So, what would you do in that situation? Like, would you, like, lather them up in butter or... like, to get them unstuck? I mean, obviously, she got unstuck on her own, but I'm trying to think of...
So first of all, yes. Not that it would help, but you would just do it. Because every kid needs a good butter lathering. Just hold still, honey. I'm going to cover your head with butter.
Just trying to think, like, what's going to make a
It's
kid,
not a
like...
Tom and Jerry cartoon.
That would be a funny picture, though. Like, a kid, like, their hair all smashed in with butter all over their face. I would totally take a picture of
So
that.
the way that most staircases, right, those dowels, there's give in the dowels, right? So like if you ever shake
Yeah.
the rails, right? So the wood, the way that was structured, there was no like ornamentation. Is that a word?
I don't know.
They were straight.
Sounds smart
Right.
word.
So all you have to do is just apply enough pressure lightly, right? And you can bend them. Right?
Okay.
So instead of them like this, right, they do this, and that's enough space to fix the problem.
Nice.
So, and then if you break them, you just go to Ace and buy a new one for $1.
I love how we're getting a lesson on what to do with, like,
If
our kids get stuck.
I may
Keith
have
knows.
may have experienced it. Exactly. I mean,
What?
I've gotten no.
Okay, our producer's saying something, and I'm trying to understand
He
what
was
he's
making
saying.
some joke about how I got stuck in a drive-through window at Taco Bell, which is
Okay.
not a real story.
Didn't you just say that you don't do stupid stuff anymore?
Anymore.
What, was this, like, last year?
Yeah, 2020 resolution.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's awesome. Wait, but we got to hear this. Okay, we're talking about getting stuck.
I did not get stuck.
Oh, you did not get stuck
No.
at a taco. Okay.
No.
Have you ever gotten stuck doing anything?
Not that I can recall. I'm sure that I did. I mean, I did a lot of dumb things.
Yeah.
A lot of dumb things.
Probably
But
stuff.
I have done the thing where I climbed too high. Right?
Yeah.
The terrifying part is not the climb, it's the
Right.
recognition that, right, like gravity is now working against you.
Yes.
It's never helping you when you're climbing, but you're conquering it, and now like it has the power to destroy you.
That's such a good metaphor for life in general.
Yeah, so I have done that one. The first one where he gets knocked in the junk, that's happened.
Yeah.
The other one, like we talked about with the bite, that was just a natural evolution of we're playing and we don't quite know the boundaries. But
What do you do? Like, if your kid, because I haven't had a biter. Like, I haven't had a kid that bites.
I don't know.
But I don't know what you would do in that situation.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So I'm not going to speculate what I would do because I don't know. But what I would say to you is the same thing I say to my wife, right? We have no idea what they're going to do, and we've never done this before, right? So every moment that goes by, there will be something that potentially can occur that we've never experienced before, and we just have to deal with it in the moment. Right?
I know.
Which is why I say, right, you're just basically winging life.
It's so true.
Right? And then I will tell her that, and I have said to her multiple times, right, because again, she spends all day with them, and it can be exhausting, and I imagine that it is for her on many occasions. But I will also tell her, right, that as John goes through things, we've never dealt with that.
It's true.
Right. So we may have had Colette do something, right? But he's a boy.
Right.
She's a girl. So the way he's going to handle himself, and he's a different person.
Yep.
So we're going to go through it twice. And so we just have to be comfortable that we don't know the answers. And then whatever we decide in the moment, right, it has to be good enough.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, that's very true. Like, and even if we had a handbook for parents, like, it's not ever going to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the book, right? What to expect when you're expecting, right? It gives you the framework, right? This is generally the stuff they're going to do, and this is what's happening to your body, right? But, I mean, I wasn't the one that was pregnant, but I, observed twice. Yeah. And they were different. Yeah. Both times, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine that this is going to be the case, and then if something like that happened, right, you call your friends, right? You call your significant or your family, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I'd call my mom, like, hey, right? Well, give me some ideas. What'd you do here?
Oh yeah.
Right? Like there were 4 of us that she had to take care of. Yeah. Right? So she's probably seen it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I was a biter.
There were 4 of us too, and I remember like after my first kid, within months, I called my mom. I'm like, thank you so much. And I'm so sorry for all the crap I put you through, because now I get it.
I think my wife has had that conversation with her mom as well.
It's
multiple times.
Because you just don't get it. Like, until you're a parent, you don't understand, like, the exhaustion and the commitment and everything like that. I mean, I think that you can kind of understand because you see other parents doing it, but it's a whole other thing.
We're just starting to get our lives out of we live in 2-hour increments.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Between diapers and naps.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's like 3 hours.
Hey, that's an accomplishment.
I mean, just imagine what we could accomplish in 2. We have a whole extra hour.
And your kids are very close in age.
Yeah, they're like 18 months apart.
Are you guys planning on having any more?
Absolutely not. No.
That was a very fast...
Absolutely not. I'm out.
I mean, you do have your girl and you do have your boys, so you guys kind of got lucky there. So you get to experience it.
I think, so we always used to joke, we go to Mass on Sunday mornings and we would point out, like, see that family right there?
Yeah.
Not a chance, right? See that family right there? Just watch them parade. They've been parading by for the last 45 minutes.
It's true.
Not
it's the parade.
A chance. So I think, to your point, right, had we had another girl, right, I probably would have had the conversation, and then we probably would have had a third.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have gone past 3 in search of the glorious son, but the fact that I had the son, right? I have a son, like that was it. I was like, okay, I'm done. And we basically made that decision probably 4 days after we got home from the hospital. because the problem that we had is they're just far enough apart that Colette had been able to sleep through the night. So while Veronica was very uncomfortable because she was pregnant, right, and it was summer, right, and but Colette was sleeping. So we were sort of sleeping. Again, she's not super comfortable when she was sleeping, but she at least could sleep.
Yes, yeah.
Right? And there was no obligation, and she had stopped feeding the kids, right? So Colette was sort of past. And I remember when we were in the hospital and John was born and we were all excited and everyone, less people came to visit because the second kid. I think I have like 3 pictures of him total.
I know.
I have like 1,000. I have like 1,000 pictures of Colette from yesterday.
True.
And I have like 3 pictures of John's total life, which is a different story for another time. But
Wait, why another time?
I don't know. I don't know how much time we have. But we were in the hospital, right? And the nurses are, you can stay an extra day. You have the ability to stay.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm guessing if I would have said yes, then my wife would have probably said yes, because she gets the royal treatment, right? She gets the food, she gets the care. They come in, they change the pillows and the sheets, and they give her whatever she wants, right? The guy sleeps on a cot.
Well, that's just the punishment, because the wife.
Yeah, punishment.
I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, like, the wife has the comfy bed because she just went through freaking labor.
I'm not saying that you didn't. I'm saying that in this scenario where I'm sleeping on a cot,
you shouldn't have had a cot.
I said, well, it wasn't. It was that stupid pull-out couch
Yeah,
thing.
that still sucks.
It's bad.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, no, we're good. We can go. And, Veronica says, yeah, we can
Yeah.
go. So we get home, and I forgot, right? I guarantee you I forgot, because the kids don't cry that first day, right? Unless you're poking and prodding them,
yeah,
right? Or doing weird things. Like, they don't cry. And they don't cry at night. They just have that sort of little whimper, and they roll around, and it's nothing. They cry on day 2. So I took him home. And I remember he just started screaming. He was in the bassinet. He just started screaming. And so she picked him up. She couldn't get him to stop. I picked him up, right? Couldn't get him to stop. Was walking around the house.
Oh, I don't.
Right? And I remember staring at her in our bedroom, like just staring at her with lock eyes, right? And I looked at her and I go, this is the last one.
What did she say?
She goes, yep. So we've had family come over.
Yeah.
Because again, I have two older brothers and a younger sister, right? And then, we've got extended family and, everyone's married. And so when we get together, there's lots of family in the house, right? Well, they all have multiple kids.
Okay.
Multiple kids, right? And so I think Veronica has been asked, 3 or 4 times in front of everybody.
Oh.
So they don't ask me
Yeah.
because I'm probably going to give you
Because they know that you're, nope.
kind of a smart aleck answer.
Yeah.
So they asked my wife just to see, and probably just to sort of stir the pot to see if she'll say yes and to get me to react, right?
Yeah.
And I remember my sister-in-law asked her, so are you guys going to have a third one? Veronica goes, nope. And I'm sitting in the recliner, like, she's behind me. They're having the conversation, and I hear nope, and I just go, yes. I'm just stretching.
Oh my God. But it's
feels
true. I mean, you guys have, I had the same thing with my my middle and my youngest. Like, I had them very close and, together. And it's hard. Because like you're saying, like, you end one thing and then you're like, okay, I get a little bit of relief, but then it starts all over again. Yeah. And they're both in diapers.
They're both in diapers.
And that's expensive. It's expensive and it's exhausting to have to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both of those statements are factually correct.
Yes, they are. And I mean, there are cloth diapers, but who wants to do that?
Look, like,
My mom did it. Hey,
yeah,
like, yes.
yeah. We were offered the service. My mother-in-law offered to pay for the service.
Oh, there's a service?
Yeah, they'll come and pick them up
Wow.
and clean them.
Wow.
Right, so you buy whatever, right, and then it's sort of like the milk bottles.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they deliver you milk bottles, you put the old ones out, and they take them. Right? It's sort of like that, but they have you purchase the diapers and you purchase enough to create the cycle. And I'm just like,
Oh wow.
doing that into a piece of cloth, washing
Yeah,
it, right, and then
no.
wearing it again, and you're going to do that because they do that like 3 or 4 times a day.
That
No.
would be exhausting. I would not want to do that. But all power to the people that do that.
Absolutely,
Like,
sure.
if you can handle it, like, great.
Choices.
Like, that's awesome. But I think myself, no,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
No.
Because, I mean, like, it already takes enough time just to change a diaper in general and to keep up on laundry. I'm sure you guys know. I mean, when they're that age, like, there's all kinds of accidents that happen every day. And, yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Food and other bodily fluids, and
Yeah.
it's whatever. You just you just deal with it.
Just get through it.
You just wing it.
Just survive.
Right?
You just
Exactly.
survive.
And I'm told that at some point in time, right, because they're like little humans, they're like almost like little real people.
Yeah.
And then they grow up and then they become human.
Yeah.
So, she'll do things, and then I'll laugh, and I'll tell, I'll call my brother, and I'm like, oh, I'll send him a message, right? And he'll respond, oh, so she's like a little human. Like, I've never thought of it that way.
It is. And
But I hear that eventually they grow up.
yes, unfortunately they do.
Again, the 10-year lease. That was what I did the second time.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart one, because 10 years is about that time when they start to, we're going through that right now. I mean, teenagers are interesting because especially nowadays, I mean, I'm sure with phones and like with everything else, like it's tough. But I think it's honestly, the hardest thing for me is getting to know their needs and their personalities and meeting those. Because like as a parent, like, when they're smaller, it's hard. It's really hard. But at the same time, it's like, okay, they need to be fed, they need to be loved and coddled, and but they still have their personalities growing.
Right.
And it's like at that time when they're like 9 or 10, it's like, okay, how do I work with this person versus this person versus this person?
Yeah.
Because you can't parent them the same. I mean, you've already seen that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And my oldest niece is a teenager, so she's going into high school. And so I've sort of, I was there when she was born.
Yeah,
Not in the room, which would have been awkward.
Yeah, that would be.
But I was there when she was born, and so I've watched her, grow up. And she definitely has a personality. And then she babysits every so often.
That's awesome.
And so, when I come home, right, and she's sitting there and the kids are asleep or whatnot, and she's just kind of watching TV or hanging out on her phone or iPad, I'll ask her questions just to see what she's doing. And some of the stories that she tells me, I'm just like, well, you have to deal with what?
I know. It's true.
The stuff that goes on in middle school that she tells me stories about, and the code words that they use, and the apps that they use in order to talk to them. I'm like, what?
I know.
You're doing what? And you can't, like, I've had this conversation with my brother, right? And he will say, you can't just not get him a phone.
I know.
Because there are practical reasons why she should have one, because she can't drive, right? And so if she needs something, she can call, mom and dad can check in with her, and she's still at that age where she's, you believe that she's responsible. I think she is, right? And so there's the good part of it, and you just have to deal with the other side of it, which I'm really not looking forward to. But she's a good kid, and hopefully, I think the way that I will react as Colette gets older is my job and my wife's job is to teach her how to be a good person,
right?
Knowing that she will make mistakes, but if she's a good person, then the likelihood of her doing something really, really egregious should be low,
right?
Because I never really got in trouble. I mean, I got in trouble for doing dumb things, but I never really did something that was bad, right? Like, suspension worthy. I mean, I was never at risk to being suspended. I certainly got detention, right? And my wife, I'm imagining, was an angel. She's an angel, so I can't imagine that she ever got in trouble doing anything other than like poking her mom, right? Just sort of like, how can I push my mom's buttons? I imagine she was very good at that.
Yeah. Did she have siblings, or does she have
She
siblings?
has a twin sister.
Oh,
yeah,
really? That's
twins.
fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it was kind of funny. Was it last week? I don't know. They were doing something at home, and when I got home, there was a rolled up photo on our counter.
Yeah.
And so I made the mistake of opening it.
The mistake of opening.
Yeah, because then when I opened it, that's going to lead to a conversation about the thing that I'm now looking at. So I'm looking at it, and I recognize that it's her senior picture. It's that class picture.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Where everyone sits in the gym or whatever it is, right? And they get their picture taken. Okay, well, my wife's a twin.
Oh,
so I'm looking at it,
so you have to guess.
So I let it go, right? And I pushed it up on the table, and she's like, "Can you find me?" Dang it, right? Sure. And I open it up, I'm like scrolling.
You're like sweating.
Nope. And then I see one of them, like, okay, so there's one. Like, you got to find the other one. So I'm like, there's the other one. Okay.
Are they identical?
They're identical twins. And then I'm trying to figure it out, right? And my wife goes, so which one did you find me, or which one do you think it is? And I go, that's you. And she goes, you're right. Yes. Thank you. I will be sleeping in my own bedroom tonight. Yes.
Has that happened multiple times before?
What?
That test?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No.
Okay.
But they do. I mean, she has pictures, right, of
Yeah.
her and her sister. It's easy to tell them apart now, right? It's really easy to tell them apart. And frankly, the first time I met both of them, once I got past okay, they're twins. Now I've met both of them. Their personalities
Right.
make them look different, right? The way they hold themselves and carry themselves.
Yeah.
But when they're in a still photograph,
Yeah, that's hard. That's tough.
the thing that did it, I'm going to give away a little secret here. The thing that did it is that my wife has told me a story about how she has disavowed bangs.
Okay.
And she told me the story why. And she was too old in that picture to that story that she told me had already happened.
Okay.
So there was no way that she was the one with bangs.
I
listened.
That's good. You listened.
I listened.
That was the way you were able to solve the. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You got brownie points for that.
Well, I got something.
So, all right. Well, I had fun with you today.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having
me.
me.
It's a daytime. It's morning, actually, not night. And thank you for filling in. Would you be willing to come back next
Absolutely.
week? Okay, because I think Mike's going to be out for a while. So,
I mean, again, 47 kids. It's a lot of work.
oh man, Mike and Kristin, we are thinking about you. We're hoping everything goes well tonight. I know it's going to be late, so hoping you get your rest now. But yeah, just to wrap up, remember to go to our page, to YouTube, and subscribe to our channel, ring the bell to get notified, and you have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them, and we hope to see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.